Hello everyone, welcome to this session on Indian economy. As you all know that we will be starting with our preparation for UPSC CSE May examination, and as you all know that there are four general studies paper, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4 in the UPSC mains examination. I will be catering to your GS3 paper, which is mostly of economic in nature, in which a lot of various other topics will be discussed, and so we will be discussing all these topic one by one so that you get a proper conceptual clarity on all the topics that are being part of the UPSC civil service examination. So if you go to the syllabus, okay, syllabus is very important. Okay, if you go to the syllabus, you have to by heart all the topics. You have to by heart all the topics of that syllabus, because no questions are being asked out of the syllabus. Yeah, it can be just other way around, they can ask you the questions, but if you really wanted to crack this examination, you should have proper in-depth knowledge of the syllabus. So that is why we will be starting with this session based on the syllabus first, and after that we'll be discussing the first topic of that syllabus, that is Indian economy issues with planning, right? Indian economy issues with planning, right? So first of all, we'll be focusing on the syllabus. So this is the paper 4. Actually, why this is paper 4 is that because essay they have given as paper 1, right? So then paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, like that. So normally in GS terms we call this as GS paper 3. Okay, GS paper 3 we call it as, which is normally of economic in nature, economic, disaster management, poverty, hunger, and then various other topics are there. Okay, like security and everything, right? So if you can see here, total 20 topics are there. 20 topics are there, and UPSC makes 20 questions on this for your mains examination. That means for particular topic, if we go by that concept, you will be getting one question from each topic. Okay, so here we can see that Indian economy issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth and development, that is the first topic. Then second is inclusive growth, third one is government budgeting, then regarding the major crops, that is the fourth one. Then this is the fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, then we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, then we have just 17, 18, 19, and total 20 topics are there. Total 20 topics, and you will be getting at least one question from each topic if we go by this concept, because UPSC makes a very inclusive paper. So they have given the topics and you will get the paper based on all these topics. So we have to make sure that we have in-depth knowledge of each topic and their subcategorization. Like if you see over here, this is a Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development, and employment, right? So here we can see that it is talking about Indian economy and what are the issue related to planning. That is first subcategorization. 1 minute, let me remove all the things. Yeah, so if we go by that, that issue related to planning, that is the first subcategorization. Mobilization of resources, that is the second categorization. Growth is the third categorization. Development and employment, that is the fourth categorization. That means within a single topic, you are having 4 subcategorization of the topics. So you may get questions on any of these topic, and normally they are like GS paper 3 is mostly of current in nature. That means whatever is happening in the current affairs, you will be directly getting a question from that syllabus of the current context. That is what exactly what UPSC is making the questions based on. Okay, so this is how we have to strategize, and this is how we have to learn. Topic by topic we have to split down the things. Topic by topic we have to make certain notes, and topic by topic we have to prepare questions on that. So today we will be discussing Indian economy. Okay, we will be discussing Indian economy and issues related to planning. Issues related to related to planning, right? So it is all about planning, like how we plan our economy, what is the problem with our planning, what are the good things about the planning, what are the bad things about the planning, advantage, disadvantages, what exactly we can do with the planning. This all we are going to discuss today in the topic. So let's start with our topic. So what is the meaning of planning? Okay, so whenever we say anything regarding the planning, planning means in the economic sense or whatever sense you wanted to know, planning is means something we are planning certain thing. Okay, that means we have something and we are planning for like future. We are planning for coming years. We are planning our money. We are planning our social status. We are planning our education. So planning is something where we have certain time, and then we are planning like this target. Planning is focusing on target that we have to achieve. Okay, just say we call it as like in 1950s we have made a planning that by 1955 our GDP will be growing by 5%. Okay, so please do not take this data as real sense, because it is just to give you an example like how the planning works. Okay, so we have taken as a planning that we have to do a planning in such a way that at least by 5% our GDP should grow. Okay, so that means we have put some target, some specific social and economic goals that we have put in over there. So this planning will help in achieving the target. Okay, planning will help in achieving our targets, right? Now, idea of planning. Why? What is that planning? Okay, so during the time of independence, we call it as 1947, right? We know that when the Britishers left our country, in our country, we have a mass poverty. Mass poverty we were having, huge shortage of food, huge shortage of food because of the famine that has been done in 1943. Okay, huge famine was there, high price rises, inflation. That means the money is totally getting into the inflation. People are not able to save their money and the money is going and inflation is eating the money. Illiteracy, lack of healthcare and lack of infrastructure. So all these things we got as a gift from the Britishers. I am saying that a gift, that is a very irony over there, that Britishers, when they left India, they have left India in mass poverty, they have left India with food shortages, they have left India with high inflation, they have left India with illiteracy, right? So during that time, we have a lot of freedom struggle leaders were there, right? So those who have done the struggle for our freedom, so they have come up with a developmental model. Okay, they said that no, we will be making a proper development model for our own country. We will have a separate development model for our own country, and the main focus, the main focus that we wanted to provide is on self-reliance. Okay, in Hindi we call it as Atmanirbhar. Okay, self-sufficiency, we will be become so sufficient in our own productions units, modernizing our economy, modernizing, providing equality. Okay, all these things we will be going to provide. If you go to our Indian constitution, directive principles of state policies also states regarding the industrial policies, right? So the founding father of our country, the founding father during the time of independence, they have given a goal as we will plan our economy. Okay, we will plan our economy, we will plan our economic development, and we will be strategizing our this planning based on the long term strategy. Okay, we will be creating year by year strategy, and we will be mobilizing the resources. Okay, mobilizing resources, properly allocating the resources in a proper way so that we can reach a desired result. We can get a desired result, right? So in order to achieve all these things, so we have set up a planning commission, we call it as PC, planning commissions in 1950s. Okay, and who has been made the chairperson of that? Prime Minister has been made the chairperson of the planning commission, and this planning commission will be planning for the country for 5 years. Okay, so they have started 5-year plans. They've started 5-year plans, like within this 5-year plans, how much industrial growth we need, how much agriculture growth we need. All these things have been given in this planning document, right? Now, okay, so what are the goals of the 5-year plans? So the goals of 5-year plans are: first, growth, obviously. Growth means in terms of numerical value. Numerical value means like how much our GDP growth we need, how much is agriculture growth we need, how much industrial growth we need, okay, in the form of a percentage, right? Then slowly we have to modernize. Whatever industry we were having during the British time, we have to change the absolute technologies and we have to bring some of the modernization to those technologies, those industries and everything, right? Self-reliance. A special focus has been made that we should become self-reliant and we should be very less dependent on external people, on external countries, outside countries. We should become self-reliant. We will be producing as many goods which our country needs, whether it is for agriculture use, whether it is for industrial use, whether it is for service use, right? Then equality. That means we have to bridge the gap. Bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, and with this we will be bringing equality concept into our goals of 5-year plans, right? So objectives of planning is obviously there are a lot of objectives of planning. First of all is sustainable and inclusive growth. Sustainable means we have to do a growth in such a manner that it remains sustainable. It is not like that all of a sudden you give very high growth and all of a sudden it goes very down. No, sustained growth, sustainable growth, also including everybody in that group. It is not like that only the riches are getting growth, only the certain category of people are only getting the growth. Okay, no, it has to be very inclusive. Social justice, healthcare, education, jobs, social justice and welfare has to be provided in a proper way. Economic growth, obviously percentage of GDP and development, right? We have to grow in such a way that it led to employment generation, people, the young generation, demographic dividend people, okay, between the 15 to 64 age category people should get the jobs as soon as they are out of their colleges and various places. After that they get the employment over there. Self-sufficiency, we have recently discussed. Regional development, that is the most important topic, okay? You know, if you go by that concept, right now a lot of steel factories, aluminium factories and various other factories are being in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, okay? These are called as earlier backward areas because they are not being treated the way they have to be treated. So if you wanted to do a development, the development should happen holistically. It has to happen holistically. Holistically means everybody is included in their development. Rich, poor, every region, whether it is north, south, east, west, northeast, wherever, everything, everybody is included in the development. It is not like that you are taking resource from certain place, you are developing certain places, right? So regional development. So during that time, Jharkhand, Odisha and Chhattisgarh, government is providing a lot of subsidies in these areas. Government is providing a lot of subsidies in these areas in order to open the factories over there. That means if you are opening a factory over there, you will be getting a lot of government support. But if you are opening a factory at a place which is already very good, then you will not get that much government support. So government wanted to increase the regional development by providing incentives, by providing subsidies to these places. Then modernization and stability. You have to modernize and you have to remain stable. That means your industry should remain stable. It should not get sudden shock from the international markets, sudden shock from the modernization or like that. And if we go by the concept of planning, how we think that we are growing, we think that whenever we grow, our standard of living increases. Our standard of living increases. Earlier, we were getting some per capita income we were giving, but slowly, like if we are having a $100 per capita income, but after 5 years we wanted our per capita income to be $150. Okay, so this is like our standard of living is increasing and our per capita income is also increasing. That means the Indian economy is growing, and also it is growing in a holistic manner, in an inclusive manner. And obviously, yes, if we are going by that, it will help in reducing the inequalities in that way. Now, what is the achievement of planning in India when Planning Commission has came? Obviously, some of the data and some of the statistics are here for you to study. And in UPSC, if we go by the topics, if you have data points in your hand, if you have statistics in your hand, then your answer beauty increases. Because if you simply writing some sentences, it may not attract the examiner attention. But if you try to provide certain kind of data, certain kind of statistics, okay, you can name some organization. Like here we can see we have given NSSO, National Sample Survey Office, National Statistics Office. Then NSSO is also there, National Sample Survey Office. So if you try to provide data, whenever you provide data in any of the answers, that means the examiner thinks that he has a full control over the topic. So what are the achievements of the planning in India? So national income has increased. That is the first achievement. If we go by this concept, in 2014-15, we have rupees 86,647 per capita income was there at current prices. It has increased to 1,72,000 in 22-23. Okay, so there is just a double increase that has happened in the per capita income, right? Then agriculture production is all-time high. Food grain production, 332 million tons in 2023 food grain production has happened. Now the government has even started storage facility for that, and government is running a biggest storage facility plan for that. Development of industry. Now we have developed the industry. We have privatized the industries earlier which were there under the government control has been privatized, and slowly India is known for the top IT sector of the world. India is also known as IT sector of the which provide a lot of IT services to the world. Okay, and India earns the huge amount of forex reserve from IT industries. In industries, whenever we talk, it is not only services, it is manufacturing also we were talking about, and various other types of work. Transports and communication, government have started PM Gati Shakti project. Okay, Gati Shakti, PM Gati Shakti, Bharat Mala, Mala Pariyojana, and everything government is doing in all these ways. Self-reliance, import substitution. Government has started with the concept of self-reliance, and for that they have started Make in India campaign. Make in India campaign. Right? Self-reliance. Make in India, sell in India, sell in the world. Our government is running the biggest job guarantee program, that is called Manrega. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Manrega, Jivika, and then National Rural Livelihood Mission we are running. So these are the achievements of the planning. Some more achievements are there. So in the course of this 75 years of independence, we have achieved a price stability. Now we are not getting fluctuated by sudden rise and increase of the prices. Sometimes it happens, but right now we are able to hold on the prices so that it does not destroy the monies of the poor. If price rise happen, if price increases, inflation increases. Inflation increases. Inflation is called as eater of poor's money. Eaters of poor money, right? So price stability means that the inflation should not go out of control and the saving rate increases. Okay, people should be able to save more, because if the price rise will be very high, the people will not be able to save. Okay, then capital formation in the form of road development, infrastructure, railway, airports, infrastructures, nuclear facilities, and every places we are being doing the capital formation in the form of various type of capital project, agriculture, in the agriculture field, in the industrial field, the defense field. Okay, so earlier it was in 1980, it was 20%. Now it has increased to 34% in 2014. So new data will be add on after some time. Okay. Social justice. Social justice means what is the living standard of the people, whether we are able to remove the poverty or not, whether we are able to create proper jobs or not, whether we are able to reduce inequalities or not, whether we are able to provide. Yes, we are able to bring a lot of poor out of the poverty trap. Government is generating a lot of jobs, private sector is generating a lot of jobs, and slowly the inequality gap is slowly bridging the gap. We are able to bridge the gap of the poverty. And income, as you all know, that per capita income has already doubled between 2014 and 2023, right? So social justice is also one of the achievement of the planning in India, right? And yeah, development of science and technologies, government has even started a fund, global, like there is a fund which has been set up for science and technology innovation fund. It is okay, research fund it is, right? And if you go by the ranking, because how we come to know that India has done a great role in science and technology, okay, we can go by the ISRO's missions, CSIS, scientific and industrial research, okay, is ISRO, Gagan Gyan project. Then we have Chandrayaan, and lot of scientific projects. We are quantum computers projects, okay, in the field of biophysics, in the field of biology, in the field of biochemistry, and everywhere we are doing, and we are submitting the papers, patent papers. How you will come to know that we are going ahead in science and technology? It is the number of patent paper that you file. Okay, so India ranked 40. India ranked 40 out of 132 in Global Innovation Index. Okay, and who releases this? World Intellectual Property Organization. Okay, 40 out of 30, because the number of papers, research papers for patent being submitted. Based on that ranking is being given, and India is 40 out of 132 countries. So India has a very good ranking, but it can be improved furthermore, right? Now, whenever we talk about this, all the achievements, there are always some kind of failures also attached to it. So what are the failures, or we call it as a shortcomings? Even after repeated work on the inflation, there is still rise in the prices. Inflation we are not able to control because there are certain fluctuations from our Indian market and foreign market. Because our country is dependent 80% on oil imports. So sudden increase, sudden decrease in the prices of oil has a cascading effect in all the products in our country. Okay, if the oil prices rises, there is a sudden rise in the prices in our country. Then we have a neglect of agriculture that has happened because we are able to achieve certain degree of what we call it as self-reliance in this field, but the 5-year plans have failed to pay additional or proper attention to the agriculture sector, because in the starting they have paid that attention, but in the due course of time we are not being giving so much importance as that has to be given. We are mostly focusing on the service sector and various, and agriculture growth has been stagnant for many years. Then inequalities in distribution of income and wealth. So there is a certain degree of gap that widening, that has been widening between the rich and poor. The gap has been increasing. The rich are getting richer and poor are getting poorer. The main thing is that because of certain rise in the prices, the poor saving gets totally off. Then still widespread poverty are still the problem of India. And whenever we go about the poverty, there are a lot of poverty statistics are there. Some say till now 19% poverty remains and 23 poverty remains, but still India is having a good amount of poverty, and India has to work on this in order to remove the poverty. And now India is focusing on a different way of measuring the poverty, that is called multi-dimensional poverty. Okay, now this is the main criteria how we are going to focus on the poverty. Now we are coming into the nature of Indian economy. Everybody know whenever we talk of Indian economy, we talk about before 1991 and after 1991. So this 1991 is a very important year. It is a very important year in the history of India. Very important year. Okay. So before was what was an Indian economy? After 1991, what was an Indian economy? That we are going to discuss. Okay. Before 1991, we were in concept of socialism. That means we were following the Russian way of working, Russian way of economy. Okay. Socialist economy. Everything government controlled, everything government has a say on that, and everything government will be only doing. And after 1991 we move into the LPG reforms. Okay, LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. So we will be discussing all these things separately. Now start with that. So nature of Indian economy before 1991, what was there? Obviously there was economic socialism. Everything was under government control. Everything was under government, mostly, not everything. Mostly things were under the government control. 5-year plans are being made in such a way that we focus on import substitution, like what we can make in our India, so that we do not have to import the things from outside. State ownership is the main thing. Most of the biggest industries, most of the important industries, जो भी important industries थे, government is taking care of that. Okay, whatever the big industries, important industries are there, production, government is having control over the production, government is having the control of all the rules and regulations and everything. So there was a very heavy state intervention in that, right? So we started building better infrastructure, we started making better irrigations, hydroelectric projects, better roads, railway networks. Okay, during that time we have created a lot of dams, IITs being created, right? Research institute being created. Our the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, have even called all these things, dams, IIT, Research Institute, as temples of modern India. Temples of modern India. They have said that these are the temples of modern India, right? So whole system is highly regulated. Nobody can do extra in that. Government is controlling everything. Over bureaucratization, that means bureaucratization, red tapeism. Everywhere you have to take permission from the officer will come, officer, no, you cannot do that, okay, only this much you can do. So that means government is totally removed all the competition. There is no competition at all. There is a very minimal competition. Not, it is not no, it is very minimal competition over there was there, right? Very little innovation you can do over here, very little innovation, okay. Efficiencies and economic growth and resulted in severe economic crisis, okay. So there was no proper efficiencies. It inhibited, sorry, this point is being related to this. It inhibited competition, it inhibited innovation, it inhibited efficiencies, and because of that huge government control, it led to the severe economic crisis which came from 1990s and 1991. We have moved into a situation we have a huge balance of payment crisis that has happened, because for the money that we have to pay to outside world, earlier we are getting a lot of oil from outside, so we have to pay for that, and we are not having paid. We are only having 15 days of payment that has been left in our forex reserve. So we have to secure a loan of emergency of $2.2 billion from IMF, International Monetary Fund. But whenever International Monetary Fund gives any money to any country, but only on certain conditions. Only on certain conditions. So International Monetary Fund has put on certain conditions on India, which resulted in the new economic policy. Okay. Now we are coming into the nature of Indian economy after 1991. We get a financial crisis. What is that? Balance of payment crisis, right? We have to secure $2.2 billion of loan from IMF, right? So what has happened during that time? Government expenditures are becoming more and more. Government revenue is shrinking. Inflation was very high. Inflation is very high. Essential good prices are very high. Essential goods like food, water, and whatever you are utilizing for your day-to-day needs, right? So India has approached IMF to receive $7 billion as a loan, but only on certain conditions. IMF said that, okay, we will be providing you with $7 billion loans, but you have to provide some kind of collateral to us. So we have to mortgage our gold. So what are the conditions? First of all, you have to liberalize your economy. That means you have to open your economy. It is not like that you can remain in a socialist setting. You have to remove restrictions on the private sector. Let private sector participate in the economy. Remove the trade restriction. Okay, let everybody trade within your country. These are some of the main conditions. So because of the pressure from the IMF to secure the loan, government has come up with the new economic policy of 1991. During that time, P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of the country, and Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was later being the Prime Minister of India, during that time he was the Finance Minister of the country. They have come up with a policy that is called New Economic Policy of 1991. Now, what is the new economic policy that came into being in 1991? So we know that we have got a huge crisis. We have only 15 days money in our forex reserve to pay. Otherwise, we will be defaulting on our payments. So because of that, the government has come up with a new economic policy. So their new economic policy was on two groups. What they will do first is stabilization measure, because we know that we are in the crisis, right? So we have to get some stabilization measure for immediately how we can stabilize. And after we became stabilized, what is the structural reform that we need, that we are going to implement? So under two heads, under two groups, we have come up with, first is a stabilization measure and second one is the structural reform policies. Under the stabilization, that means you have to do in a short run. so that we should be stabilize our economy in a few months. And after that, the structural measure are the long-term measure that we wanted to do. Okay, so long-term measure is what we call it as LPG reforms that IMF has asked us to do. Short-term measure is like how we can properly settle our balance of payment crisis and how we can tackle the inflation that is skyrocketing during that time, right? So we have come up with a policy of liberalization, privatization and globalization. So now we will be understanding what is the meaning of liberalization, what is the meaning of privatization, what is the meaning of globalization. So let's go with liberalization. Liberalization, as the word suggests, be liberal. Liberal. Slowly. Do not be too harsh on anybody. Minimize control. Do not control too much. There is no node. If you are controlling too much, you are removing the various things. You are removing the competition. You are removing the innovation. Deregulation of industrial sector. That means government has to remove their controls from various industries. Then government has to do a lot of financial sector reform. India has to open up the economy. Foreign exchange reforms. Capital account, current account conversion has to be made more liberal. Financial sector reform has to be made liberal. Trade and investment policy. That means if anybody wanted to do, has to do invest in India, how they are going to do, what they are going to do, whether they have to do a lot of paperwork, whether they have to take a lot of permission. No. If somebody wanted to do trade with India, if somebody wanted to do investment in India, please provide them with an easy policy. Tax reforms. Earlier there was a huge taxation. Corporate tax, income tax and various other things. Government has come that, okay, we will be reducing the taxes so that the money that has been saved in the taxes has to be reinvested. Right, so this is liberalization that IMF has asked. Then privatization, how the privatization has been done. Earlier, most of the industries, most of the important industries are being under the government control. So how government has reduced their control? First, what they have done is that they have withdrawn the government from ownership. Like government has reduced their shares in the company and sell it to the private sector, right? And sometimes directly selling the public sector companies to the private sector, right? Then special status to the PSUs has been granted. Like if a PSU is having a certain like 25,000 crore rupees of net worth, so the Maharatna status. Then Navratna status and Mini Ratna status. Navratna, okay, it is Navratna status and Mini Ratna status. So the status has been given. We have a lot of Maharatna companies in our country. We have a lot of Navratna companies. We have a lot of Mini Ratna companies are there. These are all PSUs. Okay, so this nomenclature has been given to the PSUs. Okay, by giving them autonomy. Government has given them autonomy to work. Okay, government is not now dictating the term. Government is providing them autonomy. Government has taken the proper board members. Board member will decide what they are going to produce, how much they are going to produce, what of competition they wanted to go. This is the way they wanted to do the privatization. And then the last one is globalization, that is integrating the economy. Now from the international brands, international trade, people have to do. Okay, we have to integrate. You cannot keep your door closed. You cannot keep your door closed. If you want international help, you have to integrate your economy with the world economy. You have to integrate your economy with the world economy. In your, in 1994, 1995, earlier WTO came into being. Okay, earlier it was known as GATT, General Agreement of Trade and Tariff. Okay, after 94, 95, it is known as World Trade Organization. Right, so World Trade Organization is taking control and taking care of all the international trade and international rules that are being made throughout the world. Slowly, networks are being created. Geographical boundaries are becoming shorter. Indian products are going outside. Outside products are coming India. A lot of foreign investment foreign investment came into being, right? If you go by the foreign investment, you know, a lot of foreign companies, MNCs, multinational companies have set up their manufacturing plant, set up their offices in our country. Outsourcings of the people are, the labor are going from India to outside, from outside to India. Okay, so they're providing outsourcing of the services outside. Cheaper cost of labor is being provided. This is globalization. Now, what is the positive outcome of this LPG reform? Obviously, some of the very positive outcome is obviously all of a sudden we got a good economic growth from 5% to 6% to 7% to 8% growth we have achieved as a GDP growth. Foreign investment has started coming to India. Proper, efficient, and productivity lineup has been created. Our trade has been expanded. We are being doing trade with various countries right now. And since the countries are being investing in India, you know, FDI, FFI, okay, FDI. FIIs, okay, FDI means at least 10% of the money that you have to invest in countries. So with that, you will be bringing technologies. You will be bringing technologies to the country, right? And slowly it will be reducing the poverty, innovation, entrepreneurship, and government's efficiency has also increased, because now government is focusing their own work. Government is not interfering in any of the economic way. Government is only creating rules and various things, but government is not dictating any term to anybody, right? So because of that, government efficiency increase, industry efficiency increase, and this is all the positive outcome from there. Now, after positive outcomes, if we go by that, we should know like some of the issues are also there which are related to the LPG sector. Okay, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Okay, so with this LPG reforms, there was a decrease in agriculture GVA, gross value addition. That means with this LPG reform has reformed various sectors of the country, especially our service sector. But it has not provided that much help to our agriculture, and because of that, the gross value addition of our agriculture has gone down. And then the MNCs have started competing with the local businesses. Okay, local businesses are being earlier protected by the government. Okay, earlier being protected by the government, but when the MNCs came into being, so they started competing with the local businesses, and which hampered our local business to a very hard way. And once we open the economy, we are moving towards the production economy. Okay, production economy, factory economy. Okay, a lot of supply lines are there and everything is there, so it obviously impact the environment to a very huge extent. And slowly there was an income gap that has started widening between the rich and the poor. Okay, because of that LPG reforms, the economy has started moving fast, and the poorer are not able to catch up with this reforming period. And because the poor are not able to match up with the skills of the new generation, so the rich and the poor gap has even widened during this whole process. Now we are moving with the next topic related to the planning. You know, till 1st of January 2015. Okay, that means of 31st December 2014, we were having planning commission. Okay, that who is creating 5-year plans. So government has removed this body, planning commission, and substituted with NITI Aayog. Okay, government has substituted this body with NITI Aayog. Okay, in 1st January 2015 came into being. Okay, so what is the meaning of NITI? What is the meaning of NITI? NITI means National Institute for Transforming India. That is called NITI Aayog. It came as a resolution of Union Cabinet. Okay, it is not a constitutional body. It has came as a resolution of Union Cabinet on 1st January 2015, and this body is being chaired by the Prime Minister of India. Along with that, we have a lot of the state ministers, some of the central ministers. Okay, so this body has been created, and the whole hierarchy and the controlling body is in the form of the cooperative federalism. Okay, here the states are being part of that, state ministers are being part of that, who will be discussing over here in the national interest, and thereby it will help in cooperative federalism. So why we are talking about the cooperative federalism? The main thing is that why cooperative? Because here all are being part of this body. All are being part of this body, and government will take inputs from every chief minister, every ministers, and everybody. So that is why this is called as a cooperative body. We call it as a cooperative federalism. Whenever we talk about the federalism, federalism means whenever you are dividing your powers among the various units, right? So why cooperative federalism? Here we are not, it is not a directly central body. Here the prime minister is the head, but the members belongs to the various state government, right? So that is why it is a cooperative body in which all the ministers will come, they will share their ideas, and they take collective decision on the things. So what are the functions of the NITI Aayog? Obviously, it create a vision for the national development. Earlier, planning commission used to make. Now this is going to make a vision for national development, 3-year plan, 7-year plan, or 15-year long-term plan. So the 3-year plan is a short-term plan. Okay, they create short-term like what we have to achieve in that. Then 7 years is the midterm, and then 15-year plan is a plan which we make for a long-term plan. Okay, so this will help in achieving the cooperative and competitive federalism. This will help in fostering cooperative and competitive federalism among the states. Okay, states will be having a competition among each other. Government is creating such an environment where each state is competing with each other. It will help in proper planning of the resources. Government will be getting proper views, proper ideas, proper strategy, proper policies from this NITI Aayog, because NITI Aayog will be having state-of-the-art scientists, people, bureaucratic people, and the people from the various field and various areas. They will help in developing the policies. They will help in developing the frameworks, right? They will also have advisory functions to the government of India and to the government of states. Okay, states also can ask the NITI Aayog for the formation of any kind of policies, right? Then because of this, it will help as a building a collaborative community among, because that is why it is called as cooperative federalism, right? And this NITI Aayog will be help in settling the dispute between the states, between the government and the states, between the central government and the states. And also the NITI Aayog has developed various methods and tools in order to evaluate, in order to monitor where the progress is going on. You know about the sustainable development goals. You know about the sustainable development goals? 1 minute. SDGs goals. These are 17 goals. 17 goals are having 169 targets. So from India, we have NITI Aayog, which is taking care of these sustainable development goals. NITI Aayog has been made the in charge of properly formulating the sustainable development goals and properly aligning, monitoring, and evaluating the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. Okay, so you know sustainable development goals start from 2015 to 2030. Now we normally people ask like, what is the difference between NITI Aayog and planning commission? So you should know this, because regarding the planning, they can ask you what is the purpose of NITI Aayog. Earlier we were having the planning commission. Okay, so earlier planning commission imposed the policy on the states. Okay, but NITI Aayog has not been given any of this mandate. It is just a think tank. It is just a think tank. It will not be imposing anybody on anyone. Okay, planning commission got a power to allocate funds, But NITI Aayog, power of allocating funds has not been given to NITI Aayog. It is still with Finance Ministry, right? In Planning Commission, state government is not having any role in national development in various type of planning procedure. Okay, so state government role is only confined till National Development Council. After that, you cannot say anything. In NITI Aayog, state government has a proactive role. You can discuss with the government, you can also suggest your measures and everything. Okay, in Planning Commission, National Development Council was there, Lieutenant Governor, State Chief Minister, they all report to the National Development Commissions. But in the NITI Aayog, Lieutenant Governor of the Union Territories and State, the Governing Council of NITI Aayog has Lieutenant Governor of Union Territories and State Chief Ministers. Regarding the constitutional backing, it was an executive body, Planning Commission. Is a non-defunct Planning Commission was an executive body. So NITI Aayog is an executive body and it is not mentioned in the constitution. Yes, it is not mentioned in the constitution because it has been made through a resolution. It is made through a resolution by an act of parliament. So these are some of the important differences that you should know regarding NITI Aayog and Planning Commission. So NITI Aayog is more like an open body and not as a closed body as Planning Commission. It is a think tank where the state of the art people from various fields comes and discuss their views on any topic. Now, what is the issues with the, or what people say that like what NITI is not having? NITI Aayog, since it is not a constitutional body, it is just executive body, it has a very limited role in policy making. Okay, they will make a policy, but whether it is going to be accepted or not, that depends totally on the government. NITI Aayog, some people says that it has not been evolved as a recent need. That means recent need is something else and NITI Aayog is working on something else. It is not a critical body. That means it is a wholly government body and it cannot be critical to the government. That means whatever the government is doing is right as per this body. So it is a non-critical body, which is also one of the criticism of NITI Aayog. And there are a few untouched areas. So NITI Aayog right now is looking for especially science and technologies and sustainable development goals, but few untouched area still remains. It is not an inclusive body. It is not having all the topics of discussion. Still some part is still out of the functioning of the NITI Aayog. So what is the way forward? We have to provide a proper time period frame for the NITI Aayog to work on that. Administrative law should be an opinion based body. It should have an opinion base. Okay, it provide an opinion to the government. Like if you are doing that, it has to be a certain amount of criticality. Okay, it should be remain little bit critical about that. Okay, we have to make it more inclusive. We have to make it more inclusive. We have to have a lot of diversified people. We have to make diversified rules and regulations. We have to have a diversified topics that has to be studied under this. Okay, and it has, this NITI Aayog has to be a transformational body. That means according to the need, it keeps on changing. It keeps on changing. That means it has to evolve every day. It has to be evolved every day. So if you are focusing on these way forward, yes, NITI Aayog may become much and much more popular as a government policy making body in the near future. Thank you.